I went back to the document, not out of curiosity, but because I had run out of explanations. Something had changed, and I could feel it. Not just in my bank account, but in the way people spoke to me. Conversations became shorter. Answers became vague. I wasn't being told things anymore. I was being managed. The folder sat on my kitchen table for a long time before I opened it. I didn't rush. There's a moment when you sense that understanding something will hurt, and you delay it. But I needed to know. I spread the pages out carefully, one by one, smoothing them with my hands. The paper felt ordinary, too ordinary for what it was doing. I tried to read more slowly this time. I followed the lines with my finger, stopping at words that felt unfamiliar. Legal language has a strange quality. It doesn't sound cruel, it sounds precise. And precision can hide consequences. One phrase appeared again and again. Power of attorney. I remember my son mentioning that phrase casually, as if it were obvious, as if it explained everything. I didn't know what it really meant, so I looked it up. What I found didn't match the calm explanation I had been given. A power of attorney wasn't permission to help. It was authority to act, to decide, to represent. And the type one had signed wasn't limited. It wasn't temporary. It wasn't conditional. It was full. I read the words several times before they settled. Full authority. That meant bank accounts, property, contracts. That meant my decisions no longer required my presence. My consent had already been given. I sat there, staring at the page, trying to connect this definition to the moment at the kitchen table, to the calm voice, to the word protection. No one had explained that this document allowed someone else to step into my place. No one had said that I would no longer be the final decision maker. They didn't have to. The law doesn't require understanding. It requires agreement. And agreement can be quiet. I realized something else as I kept reading. The document was irrevocable. That word appeared near the middle of the page, buried among others. Irrevocable. It meant it couldn't simply be undone. It meant regret wasn't relevant. I thought about how easily I had signed. How normal everything had felt. How no one had stopped to ask if I understood what I was giving up. The law assumed I did. I tried calling my son again. This time, the conversation was different. I asked direct questions. What exactly had I signed? Why couldn't I access my account? His answers were measured, careful. He said everything was legal, that it was for my benefit, that I was worrying unnecessarily. I mentioned the word full. There was a pause. Just a second too long. That's standard, Dad, he said. Standard. That word made it worse, because it meant this wasn't a mistake. It was a system. I hung up and sat alone with the document again. That's when I understood the shape of what was happening. I hadn't given help. I had given control. And control doesn't announce itself loudly. It shows up quietly when you're no longer asked, when access disappears. When decisions are made elsewhere. I thought about all the small choices I used to make without thinking, paying bills, scheduling appointments, managing my own life. Those weren't mine anymore. Legally, I was still alive. But on paper, someone else had taken my place. I tried to imagine explaining this to someone else. How do you describe losing authority over your own life without losing consciousness? There were no bruises, no shouting, just a document and a signature. I folded the pages carefully and placed them back in the folder. For the first time since this began, I felt fear, not confusion. Fear because I now understood what I had agreed to. And fear because understanding came too late. Because once you give someone full control, the law doesn't ask why. It only asks whether you signed. And I had. If you think stories like this should be told, you can support the channel by liking this video. If you want to keep watching, subscribe to the channel. A new episode every day. Cool doesn't always mean fair.